I'm Reyko. I've been doing music for about 3-4 years now. My main hustle is making like deeply personal music that really expresses myself. Yeah, music's massive for me, and it's definitely kept me alive in many ways.
They wanna teach me how to love, Reyko, don't you know there's more to life than weed and petty fucks? I can't let you leave, please stay the night and teach me how to love. No babe, don't leave and fuck it up.
Reyko is a Melbourne-based artist and producer who entered the scene as part of the New R.em.edy collective. After releasing their ambitiously collaborative debut project, New R.em.edy disbanded and began to focus on each of their solo careers. But like many other Australians, the past 12 months have been drastically impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic.
We had, pretty grand ideas, and we all were pretty ambitious at the start of the year. And that's what led us to the All Corners project, which was a massive success in its own right. But unfortunately, when COVID hit, all these grand ideas and ambitions, they kind of just came to a standstill, which really shook us a bit, because we'd put a lot of effort into getting the foundation right, and then to have it sort of pulled under the rug, and to change the entire workflow was what are we going to do? I don't know. So yeah, sort of banding together as a team, doing exactly what we're doing now. You just got to get on Zoom and you got to plan shit as best you can and work around it. I remember because we were a large group, the first couple of times doing this sort of thing, it's really difficult because everyone wants to say shit and everyone wants to put their hand up, but doing work over Zoom is really, really harder than we thought it was going to be. But yeah, we sort of managed to pull through a lot of the things that we wanted to do. We sort of had to downsize a little bit, which wasn't a bad thing at all. It kind of helped us really pinpoint what was important for the project and important for ourselves, what we actually wanted to get out of it. And yeah, it was just constantly calling each other and having these online conversations, where things can sometimes get lost in translation, especially if you're always texting as well. Sometimes you can not get across 100% of what you want to say. So basically in person is always better, but we had to work with what we had. So by the end of it, we managed to pull together a fantastic project. But yeah, it was really hard, bro. I remember at one point thinking that we probably weren't gonna make it happen. I just remember when the second lockdown hit, because we'd had that temporary freedom for a second, everyone was super happy and really buzzing. And we immediately went back to the idea of music videos and the idea of, being able to see people and do that sort of stuff. So when it hit, we were fuck, is this going to ruin everything again for the second time? And I'm not going to lie, mental health wise, everybody dipped a lot. All my friends, all the people that I worked with and had collaboration, locked away and stuff like that, things that we were going to do, they all just kind of came to a standstill again. But thankfully having the project as something to just that, I have to do it. We have to finish this thing. It kind of gave us motivation to not give up and be we're not going to have wasted 4 or 5 months of this year trying to make this happen only to stop halfway. No matter what it takes, this thing's getting out. So I don't know, it taught me if I can to be tenacious, fucking don't stop until you've gotten what you want, which is a really good quality that I probably didn't have so much before that. When you really have to be motivated to do something, it's flicks the switch in your brain, which is really good.
I still feel the same. Shadows creeping up just to play. 4 a.m. sleep walks all the way now. These headaches do me dirty every day. It's a shame that I have to medicate. I can't do this on my own, and that's okay. If you need that help, it's not my place to say. But try and reach out. Struggle with your pain. We can help each other, wanna know the same.
Touching on, being high at night or whatever and waking up, a lot of that EP is about my sleep pattern being high and sort of just general depression and mental health. and anxiety, obviously. So like COVID basically takes all those emotions and forces you to sit with them deeply and like really like think about what's going on in my brain and how do I escape it if I'm in these four walls all day, you know what I mean? So that EP, I could probably say that COVID was the reason that I was that fucked up at that point, and that led to having to have such a distinct like sound and like obviously there's a track where I'm full on just screaming my lungs out, bro. Like I remember getting real drunk one night and just finding that beat from a homie in Perth, and then I just like I was so much pent up stuff, and I remember not having done much songwriting before that, like for the last week or 2 weeks or something. So like I had a few drinks, bro, and I'm not really a big drinker. And as soon as I did that, I was like, I'm open, I'm ready to go. And I started fucking yelling into the mic, man. And all I can remember is like a couple tears streamed down my face being like, God, it feels good to like really just release for a second. So yeah, Behind Tied Eyes, massive like massive sad boy moments, but also like definitely dependent on like how COVID really constrained me and like affected me like mentally for sure.
The city doesn't sleep at night. These walls they try to speak, but they're silent. Get it right enough, and you might adjust. Get it right enough, right enough.
I think independency has been a major focus for people and a lot of people that I've talked to. The idea of labels and the idea of A&Rs and PR firms and stuff like that. I think there's been a major shift since COVID because a lot of people were pretty much forced to do everything independently unless you were previously signed or you previously had a deal with somebody. And I think I hope that keeps going because there's a real big need in Australian music industry for people to push on with this an independent sort of vibe, and make sure that like, if you are going with somebody or going with a particular firm or something like that, make sure you're getting the right deal and make sure you're not getting kind of dicked on by that sort of thing, because a lot of people or people that I've spoken to in the past 2 years have said that that's a major thing that happens. And it's terrible really, because they're young artists and they don't really know what they're getting roped into. I'm not going to sit here and claim that I know all the ins and outs, but what I do hope happens to our industry post-COVID is people realize their potential to do things on their own, even though it's hard, even though it takes a long time, and like it can really be a struggle and you just want somebody to do it for you. Like being able to do it on your own is the biggest skill that you'll be able to have as a musician or as a creative in general, really. People are just realizing that the lost opportunities of last year are now facing them directly and they have to take it. So it's really good. Like as bad as everything was, it's been a wake-up call for heaps of people.
Reminisce about clipping, I don't care for the fashion. Ration, food on my plate cause I'm crashing. Action, 6 on my chest, so plastic. Acid got me to stay too classic. State of mind, New York traffic. Hey, my mind is so rancid. Fuck me up like a cancer. I can't die when I'm lapsing.
If you really fuck with someone and you really want to see them succeed, especially post-COVID, where things are sort of ramping up again, the easiest way to do it is just to like take the time to listen to their stories or their posts and give encouragement as well. Like even just social media feedback goes so far. Like when you get 10 plus comments on a post and you see that they're not just your friends, like they're actual sort of fans of your music, it means the world. Like it's really fucking cool. I've made so many tracks and like there's so many ideas and like I've got a lot of ambitious goals, but I'm keeping it pretty simple for at least for the next 6 months. Like I'm just going to be dropping singles, because obviously that EP was something that I was like, need to get it off my chest so bad. So I'm glad people received that well. I'm really glad. And that made me more confident to want to post more. And so tomorrow I'm dropping my first single of the year, I guess. It's called Your Heart, and it's going to be like it's like a dancehall sort of track. So it's taking a massive like step back from this sound that people seem to think is my sound now, which is really cool because I guess COVID not forced me, but it shaped that sound, I guess, for me. And now I'm super excited to have the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm a jack of all trades. Like I'm extremely diverse and I'm fucking proud of that. Like I can do any style and I know I can. And hopefully that translates well with the audience. If not, that's cool too. Like I've got so many different sort of vibes that I can get out there and see which one sticks with people, which is awesome. And if it turns out that people like Behind Tired Eyes the most, then I guess we're going to go back to it. You know what I mean?
If we taking this all the way, we need to work together. I'm here to win, not play. I want the key to your heart forever. Baby, you already know I'll stay. With you, I won't ever surrender. Our love's a misery, but I want your heart forever.